Okay, so in our last video, we talked a lot about, at the end, social connection, which is a great transition to this topic on social wellness. So when we're talking social wellness, is this just the make sure you go to as many parties as you can while you're in college talk?
I mean, that could be part of it, right? But probably
Balancing
not,
some
right?
things.
Because the wheel, we want it rolling, and if you're just doing that, you're probably missing some other pieces of the wellness
Fair.
wheel.
I think that's a good, actually, analogy in general of the
Yeah.
wheel. Like, if you're just focusing on one area, you're
It's going to be wonky, right?
yeah, it's not going anywhere. Okay, so then what does it mean when we're talking about the social aspect if it's not just the traditional,
parties.
thought
So
of college?
social wellness is really about all of our relationships, right? And so it includes our relationships with our classmates and our professors and our roommates and the people in our student organizations, right? And if we're just focusing on one aspect of our social wellness, we might be missing the other areas as well, right? Because we're, like I mentioned in the last video, all humans and we need connection. And so we're connecting with people regularly. And so we need to make sure that we can focus on all of those connections in ways that are good for us and for them as well.
Yeah. I mean, we're wired to be social creatures. I mean, at the biological level, we have sections of our brain that have mirror neurons that fire as if we're doing the thing when we see other people doing. That's why we get excited watching somebody else do a sport. So knowing that we're social beings, how do we balance that if we are being pulled? So let's go the opposite of my example. If we are being pulled to kind of self-isolate because it is intimidating to make friends or want to maybe not go to the parties, like that's not your thing. It's not everybody's thing.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
if you are more of an introverted personality, what could this look like, or how would you encourage somebody to maybe pursue social connection, knowing how important that is?
Absolutely. So I think it can start in spaces that are a little less, I would say, like big jumps for you, right? So it could be your desk mate in a class, right? You already have a topic that you know that you can talk about. It's the class that you're in.
The quick, hey, what was the homework?
Yep, just a real quick, like, oh, can I ask you, right, kind of thing. It could also be Grand Valley, and I think a lot of other universities have lots of student organizations, right? So here we have over 400 student organizations. And so it could be very specific to like your major or where you want to be moving in your career. But it also could be like beekeeping, right? So if you have an interest, there's probably a group of students that also have an interest. So that can be really helpful. And so finding those spaces that like things that are interesting to you and finding the people or the places that will have those people there too.
Yeah. And I love, the professor in me loves the light lift first example of like talk to the people before class starts. I've seen that, well, and research shows it, that has a big impact in how students do. I mean, retention rates increase as students connect with those that are in their classes. And it is such a light lift, but it is very tempting to pull out your phone. And so it's like, I can see the difference on how students do based on what they do in the first few minutes of the class. If they're sitting and like, let me pull out my phone and disengage. Oh, I got too far from the microphone. And if they disengage versus putting it down and do it, and it feels intimidating. But once you do it, then it becomes established pattern. The student next to you knows you're going to talk to them. And so as the semester goes on, those students are doing an extra study session, a little review before class starts of like getting into the mood of the class, if you will.
Yeah.
And they do better. And so I love that lean into the structure that's already created for you, and rather than feeling this intimidating of like, but now I have to go to the club nights or look on the website to find something. Like lean into, there's a person next to you in the classroom.
Yeah, the little spaces. And we're all creatures of habit too, right? So you're probably going to be in that seat for the rest of the semester.
Yes. I find that interesting. I'm like, I didn't assign the seats, but yes, I know exactly where you're going to be.
Absolutely.
So looking at some of the other relationships that you mentioned, there is that challenge balance between maintaining those relationships with those back home versus the relationships here. So I think that's also just something that students need to be mindful of, is trying to balance those two things. Do you find that that's something students tend to struggle with?
Yeah, I would say really in the first semester, it's very difficult, right? Because again, we're creatures of habit. And so we have known these people for 18, however many years. They are our support system. And so we're going through the challenges of of creating a brand new support system, and that takes time. And so I think the first year, particularly the first semester, is where students really struggle with that. But once they find their groove and they get a little bit more comfortable with the routine and are able to connect in classes more, it does help a lot.
Yeah, and especially connecting with people that you're going through the similar experiences with,
Yeah.
you can really lean into, because I know, especially for me, like the social is a part of the wellness wheel that I really can lean into if I'm feeling very stressed, and especially if
Yeah.
those people are sharing a similar stressor as me. So this is the community, let's get together and vent about this particular class. That does help though, maybe
For
not
sure.
the venting part. Y'all love us, right? But like at least having those moments where you can commiserate. I don't know if that's a word. Did I say that right?
I think so.
Commiserate.
Yeah.
Here we go. And so just having that connection over a shared frustration can help you feel better. Just it's a cathartic moment of like, okay, it's not just me.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Or if you find out it's just you, at least maybe they have the answer and you can help
Right.
each other through it.
Yeah. That emotional well-being that
Yeah.
comes along with it, for sure. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks.
Yeah.